We have another little dispatch incident that I want to take a look at. I'm fascinated by the workings of TriMet and public transportation in general. People that know me know that my employment there actually morphed into my hobby, and in all these years later, I'm still fascinated by the inner workings of the American public transportation industrial complex, and TriMet specifically because I have knowledge of TriMet and their workings and have been on the side of the wrath of the bureaucrats that run American public transportation. And I want to, I'm very, very sorry for the working class of the United States right now. I mean, if you're from the working class and you find yourself in a position where you can't find livable wage jobs except for places like TriMet, you're fucked. That's all I can really tell you. You're fucked. They have you by the balls, man. They can torture you any way they want, and they will. All right, this is what they do. Okay, they don't give a fuck about you. When Neil McFarlane came on at TriMet in 2000, 10, 11, I don't remember, but he's been there a long time now. But I was there when Tom Wallace was general manager, and I was there while Fred Hansen was general manager, and I was there while Neil McFarlane was general manager. And I can tell you from personal experience that when Neil McFarlane took over the TriMet, everything changed. It's like the neoliberals completely exerted control at that point. It had been moving toward neoliberalization, and when I say neoliberalization, I mean that the commodification of riders and drivers was in full force, where the riders are now commodities and now the drivers are now commodities. Commodities being something that you treat like a commodity. You don't treat them like a human being. The whole idea of light rail, for example, is to pack as many human beings into a box as you can do it. That's the point, is to put people together so there's no room as cattle. You're treated like an animal. And the neoliberalization of TriMet has been completely in full force since McFarlane came in. He was the final nail in the coffin of any kind of humanization of the TriMet system. He was the end of TriMet as we knew it, and the beginning of TriMet as a corporate entity. And I know that people don't see this because the media, mainstream media in Portland is useless. I don't know if people realize that, but they're never going to cover anything that's anti-TriMet, anti-Portland, anti-Metro, anti-Oregon. Unless it's, related to right-wing stuff. But TriMet specifically has nothing but mainstream stooges. You'll see TriMet issue some kind of press release, and all the mainstream stooges dutifully reprint it. Now, this particular incident that we're talking about here, it hits a nerve for me, okay? It hit a nerve for me because what we see is this bus driver is trying to do his job, okay? He's just trying to do his job. And anybody that's been in the bus driver's seat knows what I'm talking about. This is one of the hardest jobs in America right now. We're really one of the hardest jobs in America. You get no respect from the public. You get no respect from the management, and the media is always looking for a way to crucify you. It's a horrible job, all things considered, because you are on the line, and the culture has devolved. People that have been paying attention over the last years have noticed the culture has been devolving, and the total devolution has kind of pinnacled with the election of Donald Trump, who kind of exemplifies this de-evolution, where it's all of a sudden it's okay to disrespect people. And so here's these bus drivers that are trying their best to do the job they are paid to do, and they're being disrespected. And we're going to watch this. We're not going to watch. We're going to listen to this clip, and I want you to listen to it first, and then I'm going to make a comment. But this strikes home for me, and let's listen.
7005.
70 train 5.
70 train 5. I got a call from customer service about your announcements not being operable on your bus. Have you noticed a problem with that today?
Yeah, I did a few times. I will endeavor to make more announcements.
All right. Well, I have to let you know that there was a TriMet manager on your bus who came up and mentioned something about it. They reported back that you shrugged your shoulders and said, "Oh well." So you got to kind of be careful with that. Also, you have some sight impaired people on your bus right now who are getting a little nervous because they rely on those announcements and they can't hear them. I'd like for you at your earliest convenience to secure the bus and do a battery reset. Also check the volume on your bus to see if that may have something to do with it, just so that we can determine if we need to get you traded out.
Copy. I am unaware of any verbal communication with anybody regarding this matter. I certainly would not have shrugged my shoulders. None of that occurred. I do have one visually impaired lady. She rides every day. Her stop is where she wants her normal stop. I will, when I get to my next stop, shut the bus off and reset the battery. But again, I had absolutely no communication with anybody about this.
Alrighty, yeah, I'm just relaying the message from customer service who had that manager call in. So if you have any questions or concerns, definitely reach out to your manager. I'm just the messenger on this one. Once you do the battery reset, if you find that you still aren't hearing any announcements, give us a call back and we'll look for a trade.
Copy. I will do that. Thank you.
You're welcome. 1645.
All right, well, we've heard the call, and what you see here, what this call is a blatant attempt from an unethical management to destabilize one of their drivers in the field. First of all, the call itself, forget about the actual technicalities of the call. The call itself is ridiculously absurd. Why would any kind of ethical management disturb an operator who's in service and try to destabilize them like this? Nobody who is ethical would even bother them with this right now. They would wait until later and make a complaint in the mail or something. But what's happened here is that they've actually tortured this driver while he's in service. Thereby, they've just compromised the safety of that driver and the safety of the public. And they've done this knowingly. They knew that they were going to compromise the safety of the driver and the safety of the public by doing this to him. All right, now I already know that when the company doesn't like the union, what they try to do is to precipitate as many grievances as possible. This is conscious and it's intentional. They want as many drivers to go to the union and file grievances as possible. This is an intentional attempt to destabilize the union. Now, let's forget that it's totally unreasonable, but it's actually dangerous in the scenario of public transportation. They're taking an in-service driver and they're ruining his state of mind while in service. They're actually risking the safety of the public for their anti-union agenda. And the mainstream media in Portland doesn't cover this. They don't want anybody to know the truth about TriMet and the type of ethics that's running TriMet right now, this abhorrent evilness that McFarlane and his crew are, and his sock puppet board. They've hired a known union buster with a long resume of unethical behavior. His name is Randy Stedman, and they allow him to continue doing what he's doing, and the sock puppets praise him. Now, the reason I bring this up is because people need to be aware of the truth about it, especially if you're working there. It's bad enough if you're one of the riders. You're fucked. If you're a rider on public transportation in America, you're fucked because it's shit, okay? Nobody can rely on public, in TriMet or anywhere else. It's crap, all right? But if you're working there, you need to be aware of the management and what they do to you. I know this. I've been in this shoes. And that's the same exact thing they used against me. They're calling the stop. They made up lies. And let me tell you, I was taping my entire shift. I had an audio recorder running for 2 straight years because I knew they were going to try to set me. I knew how I ran a secret audio tape of my entire shift. And it went on 2 years, and some fake complaint came in that I wasn't calling my stops. Well, I actually had the proof that I was calling my stops. Push never came to shove in my case. I left before that they actually tried to discharge me based on their lies. But I know how they operate. Now, I don't know what this operator has done. I don't know why they hate his guts. But these are phony complaints. And they're using it to try to destabilize him. I have no idea who he is. But this is the truth. This is the awful truth that is TriMet Transportation District. You have a group of technocrats without ethics who make lots of money to go ahead and do these kind of activities. They consider their employees and their retirees expendable. They don't care how many people they hurt. And people need to be aware of this because this is what you're working with. Don't fall for their bullshit. They have multi-million-dollar marketing departments over there to try to fool the public and the employees. Don't fall for it because even though nobody pays attention to me and only a handful of people actually pay attention to me, I'm still here exposing this shit. And I'll stay right here exposing this shit. Because even though I don't have an audience, I feel better exposing it even for the few people that do listen to my material. And I know that I've had an impact over there. Even though you never hear about it, I know the kind of shit that I do actually impacts these people.